Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Aston Williams coming to you live again with another amazing podcast episode of the Melanated Traveler. I have an amazing guest in the building. I have Miss Victoria T. How you doing today, Queen?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing. Look, I gotta tell y'all, it's been long overdue. I've been trying to get my girl, but timing is everything,
Very
and you
true.
gotta be persistent in what you want. And I know I know when I have a person that I know for sure is going to cause a major ripple in the pond. She's going to be dropping gems tonight, and I can't wait for y'all to learn more about her. So let me give y'all just a little background on Victoria. So one thing about Victoria, so she's living in Mexico. She's very passionate about fashion. If you look at her content, that's something that really draw me to you.
hmm
I've always been a fan before anything. Your content is absolutely amazing. She's big into fashion. She also is committed to giving back to the community. So she has a Detroit-based nonprofit called Flyy Girl Fly, and she's also the host of Flyy Girl yacht parties in Mexico. So you do weekly yacht parties, right?
Yep.
In Cancun.
Yep. In Cancun each and every
That's dope.
weekend.
That's dope. That's dope. So one thing about her, she likes to blend in fun. She likes to blend in entertainment, love, and unforgettable experiences for people to have whenever they're in Cancun, Mexico. So, Queen, I hope I gave you the proper introduction that you deserve. I wanted to take my time and give
Yes.
you a proper introduction, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Perfect. So let's dive into it. Let's just dive straight into it. Um, you're also bilingual, right? I wanted to
Yes,
ask you that.
I am. Yo hablo
Wow.
español también, sí.
Wow. I'm not there yet. I'm intermediate. But
Okay.
yeah, so how, like, when it comes to like, I guess your motivation, cuz looking at your content, your motivation is just to inspire people, man, through experiences, through fun, through like tapping into uncharted areas that people don't really wouldn't really go to. And we talked offline before we went live.
Yeah.
Like, dive into, like, out of all the countries, why Mexico? Why you chose to live in Mexico?
Honestly, it was literally where life led me. I wasn't looking for a particular country in particular at the time. What happened was I quit my job before the pandemic because I was just feeling burnt out and I needed to take a break. I had no idea that everybody was going to be just sitting at home collecting a check. But I always say, like, God always has a plan and you just got to get in line with it and follow it. So I had already quit my job. I was moved back home with my mom and I was looking for a place to live. And I was in a lot of different Facebook groups talking about like people that had moved to Mexico that were living there. They said like it was a great community. The cost of living was low. They lived right by the beach. And this is during COVID where everybody's kind of like in the house, cooped up. So I'm like, let me go check it out and see what it's all about. And I got there in November of 2020, and it was exactly what everybody said. Day one, I was connecting with people that I had met in the Facebook groups. I was having a good time. I was checking out the different neighborhoods. And I ended up looking at apartments. And it was apartments. Honestly, the pricing at that time was too good to be true. And I just took that step and went forward with it. I didn't have really anything holding me back. I didn't have an apartment or a lease or a car note or anything like that. So it's kind of just like, well, why not?
Wow, that's amazing. So let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. So Detroit based nonprofit. You originally from Detroit.
Yes, I'm from Detroit, the 313, the
All
east
right,
side.
all right. Little Michael Jack. All right. I got you. Motor City. It's coming. It's up and coming too. It's up and coming. Shout out to Detroit, man. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to everybody from Detroit as well. And I think, like, if you can, like, go back in time and kind of reflect on like childhood, like what's your why, or what was your motivation to say, you know what, I want to see what else is out there. Like, what was I guess you could say, either one moment or a few moments where you decided, like, you know what, like it's more than this. I want to go out and explore. I want to see things. Like, what caused this shift or this paradigm shift, this mindset for you?
Well, I've always been like a type of adventurer type of person, like, and a lot of my aunts, growing up, they would travel and go to a lot of different places. Like, I remember my auntie Diane, she went to China once and she brought me back like this necklace of made of pennies. And my other aunt, Auntie Pat, she also traveled a lot, and they inspired me a lot. And one, I remember one birthday they bought me a suitcase, and I think from there on out, it was just on and popping for me, just being a traveling type of person. Also, I was a very avid reader as a child. I don't read as much as I like to now, but as a child, my brain, I was all over the world in different continents and different places. Um, so definitely, I think from a young child, I was always kind of like destined to be an adventurer.
Wow, wow, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, I gotta ask because I'm seeing, actually, just so you know, this live too. So you got some listeners that's actually putting some things in the chat right here,
Oh,
and it's things that we already talked about in the studio. So the big question is Mexico safe?
a
Is
lot
it
of people
safe?
ask that. It's a lot of propaganda going on of people. I remember when we were kids. You remember that one game, Shame, Shame, Shame. I don't want to go to Mexico no more,
I don't
more,
want to go to
more.
Mexico.
With
Yep,
the
yep, I
big
remember.
fat policeman at the door. And it's like this
They
whole
tell
like,
our age though. Let's be
yeah,
clear.
yeah, yeah. He'll grab you by the collar and make you pay $1. And I think
Uh
like
huh.
that is something that has been ingrained into society for a long time. And I think a lot of it comes from like this whole America first like mentality where people just, I don't know. I think Americans, we really do think like we are the center of the universe and we wouldn't really think of anything else being any better. I would say to the question of is Mexico safe? It's definitely safe. It's as safe as anywhere else. I mean, think about places in the US where you have to wonder if your kids are going to come back from school safe because of school shootings. We don't have a lot of that here. You have to worry about just all these different problems that are not much of an issue in Mexico. I mean, yes, there is violence. Yes, you do need to lock your door at night. Yes, you do need to like not you need to be careful, obviously, the same type of precaution that you would take anywhere. But in terms of just being a place where it's just lawless and people just out in the street and anything might happen, no, that's not the case. No.
Okay. Okay, got you. So, like Cancun, like, obviously it's a popular destination for Americans, Europeans, Canadians, and people worldwide. What made you want to plant your flag not only in Mexico but plant your flag in Cancun to say, you know what, like this is the spot where I want to get my business started. I want to get it popping in Cancun.
Well, originally I moved to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And
Okay, got you.
yeah, I lived in Playa del Carmen for 2 years. And then in the last 2 years, I've lived in Cancun. And specifically, the reason that I left Playa del Carmen and moved to Cancun is so that I could improve and grow my travel business because I don't know if you know this, but Cancun is one of the highest travel places in the world in terms of tourism, and it's a growing destination. It's projected to grow by huge amounts in the next couple of years. And so specifically with my business is called the Fly Girl Yacht Party, and we do yacht parties each and every weekend. And also I have private charters if people want to do that. So it was much easier living in Cancun as opposed to traveling and going back and forth from Playa del Carmen to Cancun. So that was more so the reason, specifically Cancun. But if you were to ask me between the two, which one do I prefer, Cancun or Playa, I would say Playa del Carmen.
Why? Porque. Porque.
Porque es mejor. Playa del Carmen is so much better. Like, it's more local. It's more of a community. The city is walkable. You can always walk to the beach. There's always things going on. I actually literally just came back from Playa del Carmen this morning. I was there over the weekend. I had a fashion show and I did something with the kids this weekend there. But it's just all my friends are there. Cancun versus Playa del Carmen. Cancun is just a much bigger city. It's more spread apart. It's more geared towards tourism, which I said that's the reason that I moved here. But it's
Mm.
more set up for tourists to have fun. And in my opinion, Playa del Carmen is more set up for if you're an expat, a local, if you just kind of want to go somewhere, you want to get the best of both worlds. Playa del Carmen is more set up for that as opposed to being specifically targeted towards tourists.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And wow. So like the with your yeah, I'm gonna call it the experience business. You know, I know you throw yacht parties. I'm gonna just call it the experience business because that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's
It's
an
called the
experience.
Playa Experience. That's what it's
It
called.
is a vibe. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it's a
What made
vibe.
you
Yeah.
think like so? Okay, so in this answer here, and we can expand this a little bit more. You know, outside of this, you know, if we want to dive a little deeper, but just surface level, or you can go deeper if you want. Like, what was the process of getting that business started? Some people may have questions. Yeah, I see that. I got y'all. I got y'all. My ex, I got y'all. So when it comes to setting up and establishing a business there in Mexico, the process, like take us through some of that because I know it wasn't easy, right? Because everything, a lot of people they want to start something overseas, they realize that the process might not be as easy, and I'm doing this with my fingers, and
Mhm.
people give up before they actually hit their field of diamonds. They dig, and by the time they stop, they don't realize that the diamond is on the other, just one, a few more digs on the other side,
Yes.
because that person didn't give up. So, and I just want you to dive into that because I know that process was not easy for you to get that started.
Yeah, definitely. It was not an easy process. I think the thing that helped me the most was that I had a foundation in Spanish. And also, I'm just
Mm,
a person that is outgoing and I'm not too shy. I'm not scared to talk to people. So, what really helped me to build my business was building relationships with existing business owners that were here already. And just finding out, okay, how can we work together? How can I help you to, get more clients into your business, get more people into your yachts, or get more people in your tours? How can we work together? How can we kind of move forward? And a lot of that would not have been possible if I didn't already know Spanish. And I would say my Spanish was not perfect when I came here. It was not. But at some point, I just made the decision that, it's not perfect, but they understand what I say and I understand what they say. And I'll continue to, work on it, but I'm not going to let that hold me back. I think a lot of people, when they're learning Spanish or they're learning a new language or they're learning anything, like we have a tendency to want to be perfect. And a lot of times that want for perfection can hold you back and stunt your growth instead of just saying, I'm going to make mistakes. It's okay, but I'm going to do what I can do and move forward. And so a lot of what helped me with my business was just that attitude of just persisting on. I mean, I've had some good days and I've had some bad days. And I just remember on one of the days that I would consider one of the worst bad days, I made a decision in my mind. I said, you know what? You're gonna get better with your Spanish because that's the only way that you're gonna fix these issues is that the people understand what you're saying, you have an understanding, and you go from there. So that is one of the biggest tips that I would say for anyone that's looking to start a business in another country is to learn the language, is to make connections, and is to just develop relationships with people, not just the your clients, not just like a business relationship, but also just with the community as well.
perfect, perfect. Couldn't have said it any better. So I I think for me, I want to know your learning style and how you became bilingual because for me, my first country that I ever traveled to was El Salvador. Not as popular. Nothing against it. You know, creators are going there now, but I went when
When nobody's
nobody
going
was
there.
really talking about it 2 3 years ago. Shout out to El Salvador, man. Shout out to the pupusas. But okay, back on schedule.
Pupusas
But
are
when I traveled there, I was so frustrated because it wasn't, and I didn't have that what I call that American privilege. I
Mhm.
wasn't upset that I couldn't speak the language. I was upset that I wasn't able to communicate because just like you, I love to talk.
Mhm.
So I got very frustrated. I started off with Duolingo, and honestly, I still use it today. Just to,
Mhm.
and a lot of people, for the life of me, I don't understand what a lot of people, they'll skip that step and not realizing that in order for you to be able to talk fluent or to become fluent, you got to know words. You got to know words. You got to know phrases, and that's how
Yeah.
it started off. I ended up getting a Spanish teacher, from Colombia, because I was learning Colombian Spanish because I was traveling there so often, and now is it comes natural to me now.
Mhm.
So I think for you, like, what was your learning process, to become bilingual? Like, what strategies that you use to learn a language?
Well, I started learning Spanish at a young age. I mean, I feel like most public school students learn some language, and the majority of the language that public school will you'll learn in public school would be Spanish. But it's not like something that you could just, okay, I took Spanish in high school. Okay, now I'm fluent. It's not like that. I also studied Spanish in college for 4 years, but I
Okay.
struggled. I struggled so hard. My major was international relations, and we had to learn a language for all 4 years. And I will tell you, right before I graduated, I almost dropped out of college because of Spanish. I was like right there in my senior year, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I hate it. And so, but what was my turning point for me was actually in college, I did a study abroad program in the Dominican Republic. And even though I went there and like I said, my Spanish grades were not good. And I tend to be a perfectionist. So if I'm not doing good on the test or anything, I'm like, I must be terrible. But when I went to the country, I was working with the children, I was teaching, everybody could understand what I was saying. I had parent teacher conferences. The parents could understand. The kids were understanding and grasping the concepts that I was teaching. I was working with locals there. Everybody understood what I was saying, but when I went back in the classroom, so for some reason it wouldn't translate into my grades, into the exams and the papers that I would have to write. But that experience of like being understood encouraged me to like just keep going. Okay, you may not, something just may not be clicking in a classroom, but in the real world, people understand what you're saying. And I think that is something that I brought with me when I came here to Mexico. I knew like book wise, it wasn't that great. Like even now, I still need to work on my conjugations. There's some words I don't really understand.
Yes. I struggle with conjugation, man.
But
Oh,
what I do know is that these yacht owners and my business, when it's time to talk pesos and dollars, I'm understood. When it's time to talk to the kids in my program and give out different things or teach them concepts, I'm understood. When it's time to go order my food, they understand what I'm saying. So like that is a part that does encourage me about it and makes me want to keep going. Um but yeah, I mean, just speaking it, that's really what it comes down to. You cannot be scared. You cannot be like worried about what if I mess this word up, what if I mess up that word. They understand you. You have to start from somewhere.
definitely, definitely. I think that's the hump that I got over because, like, working where I was working, like 90% of the workforce was Cuban. And I'm like, man, so like I'm forced to use my Spanish. And then one of my, I think for me, and I think you would agree with this too, like when it comes to Mexico, um, in Colombia too, but Mexico, I feel like the dialogue, like Mexican, like Spanish or the accent, you can hear the words. They're very clear and crisp. That's why I was kind of laughing at you, man. Shout out to my friends in the Dominican Republic, but y'all got that what I call that ghetto Spanish. I love y'all to death. But que lo que tú suave, y tú sabes, y tú
Yeah,
sabes.
yeah, yeah. It's
I'm like, I
kind of
don't know
like
what
a
the hell you
slow
saying, but
accent. Yeah,
see. I don't know what the hell you saying, but
it's real
shout out to all my friends in the
fresca.
Dominican, man. Right, right. But that's amazing, man. Like to overcome that barrier because, and the reason why I wanted to talk about the language barrier is I feel like, what do you feel like? You feel like that's most of the reason why I guess in my opinion the diaspora doesn't truly travel, especially to these Latin countries, because they're afraid that, okay, I don't know Spanish, I'm not going there. You know, I think that's a part of it. I think that's more fearful. I think they're more fearful of the language barrier than saying it's dangerous or saying
Mhm.
cartel or saying these different things. I think the language barrier plays a huge role. Were there any apps that you used as well, or any apps now that you use to kind of touch up on your Spanish, or now it's just full blown just conversational Spanish?
To be honest, the only app that I use is Google Translate. Like, I just use Google Translate just to kind of like make sure I'm saying things the right way, or to make sure like I understood what the other person said. They have this cool feature where you can screenshot and you can put it in Google Translate and it'll completely translate the whole part of the text. So that's really the main thing
Mm,
that I use. I've never really been a huge fan of Duolingo or those other apps, but I've heard really great things about it. But for me, honestly, in the heat of the moment, I just use Google Translate.
gotcha, gotcha. Man, let's shift gears. Let's shift gears. Like, what gave you the confidence to travel, to want to travel the world? What gave you the confidence to do that?
Honestly, it was really kind of like I didn't really have any other choice. Like I said, I quit my job before the pandemic, and this was my dream job. I had my dream job where I was also traveling the world. Everything was pretty much paid for. I was a project manager for a political organization. And, I was able to travel. I was able to keep all my hotel and flight points and things like that. But it got to a point where I was just kind of burnt out. I was in a near death car accident, and that really kind of changed my trajectory of things. I got better and I went back to the workforce, but it didn't really do it for me anymore. I can't really explain it, and the burnout that I experienced just wasn't worth it. So I kind of had to figure out what my next move was. And when I got to Mexico, like I said, people were already, I was in the groups and they were just saying, like, this is a great place, it's community, the cost of living is low. And I wasn't planning on being here for 4 years. Initially, I was supposed to be in Playa del Carmen, trying to find trying to find like a remote position, just kind of like taking my time to just figure things out, but in a place where I could still be independent. Like I told you before, after I quit my job, I moved back in with my mom. So I wanted to have that independence of, okay, I'm not under my mom's roof, but I'm still figuring things out, but I'm still able to take care of myself. What gave me the confidence to keep going is just like I said, I didn't really have another option. I love the way that living in Mexico made me feel. I love the independence that I had. I love the fact that, I could get up in the morning and decide this is what I want to do. This is how I want to be. These are the things that I want to accomplish. And I felt that it was a place that I could get it done. I was not really scared, no, because I hate to say this, I don't want to like make other people like feel a certain type of way, but for me, it was kind of just like the next logical step. Um, from Detroit to Mexico at that time, those flights were only like about $75. The one ways were about
Hmm.
$75. It's like maybe a 2.5 hour flight. So honestly, at any point, had things really went south or it just wouldn't have worked out, I could have went back. Like I said, I already had my dream job and I still have those experiences. So even now, I still could go back. But I kind of had made this decision that I really only wanted to make money doing the things that I enjoyed moving forward. I didn't want to build somebody else's dream. I didn't want to um like do make a living doing things that I hate. Like a lot of people like they'll be like, "Oh, it's Monday again. Oh, I got to go back to work again. Oh, I hate this
Hmm.
job." I never wanted that to be my story. So that was kind of like the opportunity I felt that Mexico gave me to live a life that I could be proud of and live a life that I could, just do the things that I love and enjoy and make a living off of it. And so like I said, I didn't really have a choice. It was that or nothing at all.
Right. Sometimes plan A is the best plan.
Mhm.
You know, man, that's absolutely amazing. I want to dive into a little deep into Mexico. When it comes to Cancun, Playa del Carmen, like for me, all right, y'all. I got a honest opinion. I got an honest statement to make right now. I've never been to Mexico yet.
Ah, we
I've
gotta
never been to
change that.
Mexico
We
yet.
gotta
And
change.
literally, I'm from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't been to Mexico yet, so I got to get there. So when it comes to Cancun, when it comes to Playa del Carmen, like for me, like shout out to Nipsey, man, may he rest in peace. But he really made me open my mind up to going to Tulum as well. But
Uh-huh.
before we even go there, let's dive in. Let's pinpoint Cancun for a second. Then we're gonna shift gears and apply that Carmen. Besides, like, even though we know, yes, Cancun is a tourist destination, but what are some things? What would you say some of the key things people can do? You know, places, things that you may recommend while they're there. If they wanted to one, if it's a tourist spot, that's cool. But if it's off the beaten path, that's even greater. Because I know for me, like when it comes to like traveling, I do like to go to the tourist spots, but I also like to go to, you know, the places where the locals go. And I still feel that even though Cancun is like highly touristic, they still have a local vibe that you can, you know, check out as well. So let's dive into that. Let's dive into a little bit more Cancun.
Well, I would say for Cancun, it is majorly set up for tourism. So there are a lot of really fun tourist attractions. Like they have dolphins here. There's a lot of places you can go and ride ATVs. You can go to cenotes. There's plenty of water parks. There's a lot of shopping that you can do, luxury shopping, and also there's more local shopping that you can do. I really like going to the local tianguis. It's kind of like a flea market, and they have them all over Mexico. Here in Cancun, there's probably a tianguis like every day. You can find anything at the tianguis from like really good food to clothes to shoes to electronics. You can get your ladies, you can get your lashes and your nails and your feet done at the tianguis. A lot of different cool things that you can do, and it's basically just a market, a local market.
Okay.
Obviously, what I'm gonna say the best thing you should do when you come to Cancun is get on a yacht.
There
Um,
we go.
I, it's just a great experience. If you, I say anywhere you go, you should get on a boat. Like it's just a great experience being out on the water. It's just something about, like Beyonce said, "When the water's so blue."
There you. Oh,
It's a real thing. Like that's what I say. Everybody should do at Cancun is get on a yacht, and the Fly Girl yacht is the one you should get on.
there we go. So all right, Fly Girl, y'all party. Take me through that experience. Take me through that experience. Cause for one, your content already got us sold, right? Cause I'm here and I see y'all, and we gonna make sure I have her information in the show notes as well, and give her time to put out her information as well before we get off. But take us through that experience. Like take us through that. Because the videos that I've seen and the content that I've seen, every single client that you've had that I've seen on your content has had one hell of a time, and it's a vibe. So
Yeah.
take us through that experience.
It's definitely a vibe, and it's something that I've been curating and like perfecting for the past 4 years. Like you said, like the content looks great now, but it didn't start out great. But it's something that you go on, you take from this experience, you add, you take away, you see what can you put, what did the clients like, what will make it better. And I think now I've got it down to a really good science. Basically, the Fly Girl Yacht Party has everything you need to have a good time when you come to Cancun. Your transportation to the yacht party is included. Your food is included. We have a black-owned catering company that takes care of the food. We have drinks included, and we also include a jet ski experience. So you come on the yacht. If it's your birthday, we can have the boat decorated for you. We'll have drinks out. We have the good music flowing, good vibes all around. We go out and we do a jet ski experience for about an hour and a half to make sure everybody has a good time to get on a jet ski, and then we go to Isla Mujeres Island, which is a beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful island. It's really, really small actually, but we go to the island and we park along the other yachts, and we just listen to music. People can jump out and get in the water if they want. We eat there. The menu is really good. It's like barbecue chicken, um, fried rice, chips and guacamole, a fruit appetizer, and we have like various assorted drinks, plus an open tequila bar. And it's just really a good vibe. And what I try to do and why it looks like everybody has such a great time, and they do, is I cater to what you want. So no yacht party is exactly the same, exactly cookie cutter. The foundations are the same. Like you'll always have your transportation, your food, your jet skis, and your drinks included. But maybe one day we may take a different route, or maybe one day, the music might be different, or one day maybe I may have models on the yacht and they want to have a photography experience. Or it might be a younger crowd on the boat and we don't have alcohol, but we, have more fun and games. It's really catered to the people that are on the boat. And that's, I think, what makes it really, really unique is that whatever type of experience that you want to have, you're able to have it. I've had bachelorette groups, bachelor groups, where we, had bottle girls on the boat. We've had models, um, photo shoots, lots of different experiences that you can have. And as long as you let me know, I can make it happen for you.
Enough said. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Enough said. Y'all need to be making, including me. I need to be making my way
Hey, you
down to
too.
good old
You too.
Cancun. I need to be making my way down. But you know what? You're not the first person that told me that. So I talked to um just a few other melanated alum, and they love Playa del Carmen as well. So what, like, let's shift gears there for a second, because it's a little bit more, I would say you see tourists, but it's more, would you consider Playa del Carmen more local, or just like a mixture of a boat, or a little less touristy?
Playa del Carmen is the perfect mix. It's the perfect mix of tourism, local, and expat life. Um, and expat like is just a different term that people use. Really should be saying immigrant life because expats really are people that have immigrated from their one country to another country. But for the purpose of this, I think most people understand what expat means. But Playa del Carmen to me, it has the perfect blend of everything because in Cancun, the majority of the tourists are in the hotel zone, which is kind of almost like an island all off to itself. Like it's just a place where there's all these resorts, all the expensive hotels, all the really nice and ritzy and fancy restaurants. It's all in the island all by itself. In Playa del Carmen, everything is all together in the central area. So you'll have the nice resorts, you'll have the nice restaurants, but maybe a block away, you'll have residential areas. You'll have places where people might not be coming just for the weekend or for 3 days or for 5 days. Like you'll have people like myself who, okay, I want to sign a 6 month lease or I want to live here for 1 year. And in addition to that, you'll also have people that were born there. You'll also have people that maybe they moved from Mexico City to Playa del Carmen so they could also have a better life and better jobs and things like that. You go further across the highway in Playa del Carmen, and you'll see lots more families, both expat and local families, much lower cost in rent. And then the other thing about it is just the community that is there. Like I mentioned, the community is what drew me to Playa del Carmen originally. Like people were just talking about, oh yeah, on Wednesdays we do a game night. This day we have an open mic night. There's language learning classes. There's communities for everything. There's a Makers Club, Toastmasters, I think it's called.
Yeah, yeah, Toastmasters. Yep.
Toastmasters. There's an improv club. They have lots of those healing spirituality workshops with the sound bowl. There's really like any community that you're looking for the most part can be found in Playa del Carmen, and a lot of people like that. I will say the cost of living has increased since I first moved there. When I first moved, I had a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartment with a view of the ocean right on the main strip. And it was $650 when I first moved to Playa del Carmen. Now you're seeing studios for about 900 now, 900 US. You
Okay.
can still find, things at lower price. It'll take a little bit more looking to find it, but initially it was a whole lot more affordable.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything that you uh what's your matter of fact, let's just dive into your spots. What's your go to spots when you in Playa del Carmen?
To eat,
Yep. Good
okay,
old food. Comida.
comida. Honestly, you will always literally find me just at some taco spots. Like at the taco stands, like the literal, like it'll be just a street and a cart and a place with a lot of different sauces. I love places like that. Like if you make your tacos and you don't just have tacos, but you have like a habanero salsa, like chilapin salsa, like all these different types of sauces to put on there. That's where I'm at. There's also this really good place on the water called La Torreya, and it's like a fish restaurant, and it's really, really good. And you obviously it's on the ocean, so you get really good views of the water. I love that. And there's another really good place called Alush, and it's a restaurant, a really fancy restaurant inside of a cenote, which is a natural stone formation, like a it's created by water. It's like a rock formation, almost like a cave. That's the best way to say it. It's a cave. So it's a restaurant inside of a cave. And you have to go down
Okay. Man, that's
inside
dope.
the cave. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's definitely a cool experience.
That's dope. Wow. Have you been to Tulum before?
Yeah.
Before Tulum became, like I said, they got the airport there now.
Yeah.
Nipsey dropped Tulum. I gave him a shout out earlier.
Mhm.
But how do you like it? Do you like it?
So, not really. It's a beautiful place, but it is like I would say, as somebody that lives here, it's not a place that I would like. Oh, let's go to Tulum. I wouldn't. No, not no, no, no. But it's beautiful. There are beautiful cenotes there. The ruins there are beautiful. I actually have tours that take people there. I have photo shoot tours that take people to Tulum as well.
Okay.
But I would say that it is a little bit overcrowded. Um, the beach is beautiful as well. Just, I mean, all our beaches from Cancun to Playa del Carmen to Tulum are really, really gorgeous. And it's a great place if you want to like check out the cenotes and also the the artifacts and the ruins and things like that. But it's not my favorite place in Mexico. No.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, because everybody, it's a new destination now. So what Tulum is now reminds me of what El Tunco in El Salvador is. Like
Ah.
before it became highly touristic.
Hmm.
Even now, it's still not. People still don't know about El Tunco. What they
Hmm.
do now because I just put it out there. But that's the kind of vibe that I like. That laid back, that chill vibe. And then you get into some of these areas where, and nothing's wrong with development either, right? Because
Yeah.
tourism helps the country, but
Hmm.
I like the places like you mentioned, like Playa del Carmen. What about some interior places? Did you have a chance to see one of the seven wonders of the world, the Chichen Itza? Have
Yeah.
you had a chance to check that out?
Yeah. I
Is
finished
it
it.
is it overrated? Is it overrated?
No, it's not overrated. It's not overrated. It's a beautiful place. It's definitely historic, and it gives you like you feel like you stepped back into time. It's beautiful. Um, that pyramid, and then they have like this whole other park where it just kind of it really just makes you feel like you step back into time. I would suggest everybody to go there. It's very hot, but it's worth it. And honestly, every time I've gone, I don't know why, but it rains every time, but it's so hot that you're so grateful for the rain. Like you're like, oh my God, thank you for this rain coming down because it's just really, really hot. But I would suggest everybody to check it out at least once.
Got you. I gotta give a shout out to my girl. Shout out to the fearless mommy. She lives in Mexico as well. She lives in. I'm probably gonna destroy this name. She lives in Merida. Merida.
Merida, I love Merida.
Yeah, she
That's
lives in
one of my
Merida.
favorite
Yeah.
places, actually. It's actually
Okay. Yeah.
that's the best place to raise your children.
All right. And
Mhm.
yeah, and she has their community like. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. But shout out to my girl. But they got their own community.
It's a
Single
whole
moms
entire
and
Black community there, yes.
yeah. All the way over there. I do. Besides Cancun and Playa del Carmen, I really wanna go to Mexico City. Really
Okay,
want to
I've
check
been
it out.
there too.
And what's the other city? Guadalajara,
Guadalajara, I love. Okay, so
Guadalajara.
I have to say, like, my top Merida, just because I really love the food. They don't have any bad food in Merida. Even if you went to a Chinese food place or just like close your eyes and stop somewhere on the side of the road, all the food is going to be good there. Guadalajara, I love just because it has the perfect vibe to me of like a big city and also a historic town center. So I love Guadalajara for that. Like I really am big into like historical architecture, like old buildings with like the old arches and stuff
All
like that,
right.
or like
Yeah.
the old
I
churches.
got my degree in architecture, actually.
Oh, no, you need to
Yeah.
go to Guadalajara. You have to.
Yeah. I gotta check that out. So you've been, I know, what's another popular destination people like to go to? Los Cabos.
I went to Cabo. Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
You went to Cabo because it's two Cabos, right? It's two of them, right?
Mm, Cabo San Lucas and maybe another one. I'm not sure, but I went to Cabo
Yeah.
San Lucas and then I went to La Paz while I was there too. Cabo was another beautiful place. I love Cabo because of the fact, like, obviously, I'm obsessed with boats and yachts, and that's another like huge place for yachting. So I love Cabo. I also while I was there, I went to this place called La Paz, which is like maybe 3 hours away. And it gives you that same similar vibe of Cabo, of like a coastal town, but it's more chill. Like it's less known. Not a lot of people know about it. It's more local vibes. So I like that too.
Okay. All right. So when you think about, um, I wanna go back to your nonprofit for a second because that's big, and I don't want to skip that.
Okay.
You create that nonprofit, the Fly Girl Fly. What why is it so important to you to give back?
Why it's so important to me to give back is just like it's something that's been central to my life since I was a young girl. I grew up the oldest of four children, and we were homeschooled. So I always was the one like just helping out in the home, teaching my siblings. Sometimes my cousins would come over, and I would just be like that one big cousin. And as I got older, like I told you, I got my dream job. So I would take the kids different places. Like I was traveling, so I would take them to on college tours or take them different places just to help them to, experience and explore different things and see what they like. I mentioned earlier that I was in a near death car accident,
Mhm.
and that was really detrimental for me because I'm just a person that's just so used to being independent and doing my own thing. And that car accident took everything from me. I couldn't even go to the bathroom on my own after that car accident. It was really bad. I couldn't walk for almost 2 years. I couldn't walk without the help of a wheelchair or
Wow.
crutches. And I had to get like 5 different surgeries. But the thing that helped me to keep my sanity was starting Fly Girl Fly and being able to give back to the youth during that time. Because I remember I was sitting in a hotel and not hotel, I was sitting in the hospital bed, not me calling a hospital a hotel. I was sitting in the hospital bed and I thought to myself after the accident happened, you always wanted to start a nonprofit. You always wanted to give back to the youth in a formal way. And you almost died and you didn't do it. Like, and so at that point, when I had realized that, I started then and there. Like, I started the nonprofit in the hospital bed. I wrote up like a whole thing to start an internship program with girls. And I was going in and out of surgeries, but I had like 5 interns. I had 2 in Detroit, one in Chicago, one in Alabama, and I would kind of like just do like a virtual mentorship program with them, helping them through the summer, connecting them with opportunities. The ones that were in person, I would meet up with them and we would do different projects together. But that's why it's so important to me because at my lowest point, giving back to others is what gave me the strength to keep moving forward. Like I said, I've just always been like that type of independent person that's always helping others. And when I didn't have any money, I didn't have any way to do even help myself, but giving back to others just gave me the wherewithal to keep moving forward. And now we're at the point now where we just done our second back to school festival here in Mexico. I've done like marketing and networking workshops for the girls, lots of confidence building courses. But it all started in Detroit in the hospital bed.
Wow. Wow. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did not want to skip over that. Doesn't it feel good to just, plant a seed for that next generation, man? And, I think especially like growing up, like, you had certain people that come across your life that say, you know what, hey, no matter what your environment is, your situation, like you can do it. So, man, I commend you on that. I commend you on that,
Thank you.
and that's absolutely amazing. And I wanna, I wanna end it with this. We going back to that mindset piece is the person, a person that may be on the fence, whether they're male or female, right? On the fence about traveling, on the fence about wanting to explore and outside of the boundaries of what they know.
Hmm.
What can you tell that person that's on the fence?
I would tell them to get as much information and gather as much information and data as they can as possible. Immerse themselves in the experience before they get there. Kind of get a mindset and an idea of what it will be like in your head. So you will be excited about it. A lot of people tell me like, "Oh, I'm scared to come to Mexico. I'm scared to travel by themselves." And I'm a contrarian. You tell me that you're scared, I'll tell you not to do it. I'll say figure it out, get some more education about it until you're not scared. Because I feel like the fears that you have, you take that into your next place. You need to go somewhere and be excited about it. You need to go somewhere and be like, oh, this is going to be a really great experience. I want to check this out. I want to check this out. Not you're going somewhere and let me clutch my pearls. Let me hide my purse. Let me, oh, the police over there, they're probably going to try to get me. If you have that mindset, then that is what's going to happen to you. You have to really just challenge yourself and challenge those ideas that you have. Like, what makes you think that it would be unsafe? And challenge those ideas. Get some more information. Find some different social media influencers online that are living that life and that are doing that. Ask questions, interact if you're scared and you're confused about it. But I would definitely suggest that you give it a try for sure. But if you're scared, figure out a way not to be scared and then do it.
Got you. Gotcha. Well, y'all heard it here first, man. Y'all heard it here first. And I want to take this time first and foremost. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so
That's the first thing. I truly and really truly appreciate it. Just like I told you in the studio before we got started. You family now, so hey.
much.
So anytime you want, and we're gonna talk offline as well, but anytime you want to collaborate, anytime you want to, tag team some things, man, I would love to work with you more. And I think that the people that's listening and that's watching it is, you're looking at somebody that took a chance on themselves. You're looking at somebody that the mindset was there, the thoughts, the belief was there, and it became a reality because she didn't quit, right?
Hmm.
And that's what I love about traveling is because we go to these places, most of these places unknown, right, to the environments that we come from, and you know what, we go there with an open mindset. We go there with just a different outlook on life. Traveling helps you get a different outlook on life when you can look at other cultures, immerse yourself in different cultures, food, the language barrier that we talked about, the language, and we talked about all these different things. And that's why we promote travel the way we do, because that's what makes it important. Not only for your mental, but just from the experience. And life is too short. Life is too short, people. So, if you can take anything from this particular episode, I want you to take the fact that she took a chance on herself, and she didn't give up. Now look at her.
Yes.
Now look at her. But I also want to take this time out before I forget. I want to take this time out. Go ahead on and blast out everything that you want to blast out. Socials, website. How can we support you?
Yes, you guys can follow me online. If you want to follow me on TikTok, my TikTok is the Flyy Girl Experience. And on Instagram, it's just Flyy Girl Adventures. Also on Facebook, Flyy Girl Adventures. You can find me online at www.flygirladventures.com, and you get all the information about the yacht party, about my nonprofit, about just the different adventures and day to day things that I do in Mexico. All of that information is right there at www.flygirladventures.com.
Got you. There you go. Well, again, Queen, I really do appreciate you. And like again, y'all can go into the show notes and her all the social media information, how you'll be able to follow her, how you'll be able to support her. Check out our website. And y'all already know when the next time that y'all in Mexico and y'all in Cancun, y'all make sure you go holler at my girl. Go
Period.
holler at her. But I really do appreciate it. And guys, y'all know my motto. I'll see you at the top because the bottom is just too crowded.
That
Peace.
part.